Okay, this is full time as we recap Champions League match day 3, the halfway point. Several things developing. Let's go over some of the overall subjects that would stick out. First, 3 teams have started with 3 wins out of 3 in the competition. They are Manchester City, PSG, and Bayern Munich. In match day 3, England, they went 4 wins out of 4. Spain, 3 wins and a tie. Italy, all 3 of their teams won. So good news for the heavyweights, the clubs in the leagues that we expect to be representing the tournament as we head towards the knockout stages, which are still a long ways away, but teams will start securing passage through to the knockouts by as soon as next round in a couple weeks' time. So I have a few little topics I want to discuss. First of all, I want to do a little mini halfway point power rankings. Top 5 teams from the Champions League after 3 matches. So here it goes. Starting at number 5, it's going to be Juventus. Certainly they are one of the favorites. They did drop points against Atletico Madrid, have been good ever since. Still waiting for them for really to puff out their chest, but they are fine. And this is just a temporary list because people like lists. So La Vecchia Signora comes in at number 5. Liverpool, the reigning champs, are at number 4. They did drop against Napoli, and they also struggled against Salzburg. Remember they had that 3-goal lead, and they gave that away. So they get some cred here because they are the champions, but they will come in at number 4. Number 3, Manchester City. Manchester City have been pretty stern, and they have picked their spots, and, well, they've beaten people up pretty good. However, they haven't exactly played the heavyweights. They are supposed to win their group pretty easily, so they come in at number 3. Number 2, Paris Saint-Germain. I want to make them number 1. They are they're unbreakable. You can't get through. They continue to push in, and they have not conceded a goal in 11 straight games. Or they've conceded 1 goal in 11 games in all competitions, have not conceded a goal in Champions League play. They've won 11 straight games. And they've done it against tough competition. They beat Real, they went to Galatasaray, and they went to Club Brugge. So there you go. Number 1, it's Bayern. It has to be Bayern Munich. They have scored, I think, 13 goals. Robert Lewandowski is now, we're talking about him, the best forward on the planet. The 7 goals against Tottenham Hotspur. The result of the competition thus far, because it was Spurs. They were in the final last year, and here's a team going 7. And then they score again, and they've also been able to be very successful like PSG on the road. Barcelona's not on here. Barcelona's not scoring goals. They would have come in number 6 on my list. Napoli, I thought's a team that could have made the list, but they're going to have to wait till another day. All right, so let's go over some big stories that I think came out. One of them going back to Manchester City, and Rio Ferdinand, who is now a pundit in the English media, came out and said after Raheem Sterling, who scored a couple goals, is a top 5 player in the world. No way. Can't be, right? When you look at the list of players, obviously we're going to put Messi and Ronaldo 1 and 2, although is that gap so big between them and the next young pursuing pack? So 1 and 2, we've got to give it that way. Let's say we put, can't put Neymar there, can't put Paul Pogba. Let's say Kylian Mbappe. He did have a hat trick this weekend, so let's put him on that list at number 3. Let's put Virgil van Dijk, who is arguably the best defender in the world, English Premier League Player of the Year, at number 4. And then, do you put Lewandowski? Do you put Mo Salah? Sure. Serge Gnabry, he's been very good. I think that's a good spot for Raheem Sterling. So we get caught in these numbers, top 5, top 10. I think Raheem Sterling is a top 10 player hands down. But when you hear this, I think you go, here we go, the English media speaking up. But look, everyone got to get ready for this. Best players in the world are English, or they are amongst the best players in the world. Jadon Sancho, even though he's having some issues right now with Borussia Dortmund, has to be considered there. And certainly Raheem Sterling. Harry Kane may be a little bit off the pace now. But Raheem Sterling, I have no problem with that statement whatsoever, Rio Ferdinand. I don't think you can make a super argument against it. Atletico Madrid have been a team that I've been curious about. They have made Champions League finals very recently, still coached by Diego Simeone. João Felix is the young starlet, but he's been injured. So they have an identity. I think they have the best goalkeeper in the world in Jan Oblak, which will allow them to play this kind of system. First of all, it's watching their games is hard work. It's not that they don't score. It's that they don't shoot the ball. They don't shoot the ball on target. They've been involved in a lot of scoreless games. I think in the game against Valladolid, the last league game, one shot on goal. When they played Real Madrid in the Madrid derby, one shot on goal. One shot on goal. 2 shots on target in their last game here in the Champions League. 2 shots. This is a theme. And they may get more shots, but shots on target, they're not getting a lot of goals on frame. They're going to have to fix that if they want to go far. But so far, they're finding their way through. They should be going through in that group with Juventus. It's just a tough watch. And Diego Simeone, as I've said, I adore him. But Diego, por favor. Por favor. A little more entertainment, if you don't mind. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and I thought about this. I was watching Inter, and they got their victory over Borussia Dortmund. It was a big win. It wasn't the biggest win in the Champions League because they still have to go and do it at Dortmund, but it certainly puts them through in that group, it would appear, with Barcelona. You'd have to think that they're going to get through, but we still wait until that second matchup against the German club. But after Antonio Candreva scored the second goal in that game, he took his shirt off and celebrated, and he got a yellow card. And I was looking at it, and it made me think, this rule about taking your shirt off, it's not working. Players know you get a yellow card. They still take off their shirt. And then I see yellow cards given for these really dicey tackles, cynical tackles, and it's a yellow card. And I was thinking of all the things I'd like to change in soccer. VAR, that could wait. Let's let it flesh itself out a little bit. What about offsides? Do we change that application of how offside is ruled? What about bring back golden goal? All those rules, secondary to me, because the number one thing I would change is giving yellow cards for taking your shirt off. It's enough. Let the players take their shirt off. It's harmless. It's fun. And maybe most importantly, you will encourage Cristiano Ronaldo to do it more regularity, and that's good for the game. It brings a lot more viewers that may not be there to watch soccer. Get rid of it. It's a silly rule. Now, I don't want people all taking their shirts off running around. I don't think that'll happen. But it's a reaction. It's a passionate reaction. So, that's it. I mean, there we go. Match day 3 in the books. Now we look forward to it. Match day 4. Oh, one last thing I did want to touch on. I was very moved, and I know this is going to be a bigger story to my listeners in the United States, which is the predominant number. Chelsea getting the results. You know, away wins were happening all over the place, but Chelsea going and getting their win at Ajax, a semifinalist a year ago, was monumental. And we've been very critical about the handling of Christian Pulisic, and I saw something there that really gave me comfort. It was Frank Lampard bringing Christian Pulisic right around a little past the hour mark with plenty of time to win the game. It was scoreless. And he put his arm around Pulisic and he said, go get it. And Christian Pulisic did and got the assist on the game-winning goal for Batshuayi. So there you go. So Chelsea, I owe maybe a little apology for some of my reactions. I was just upset at the beginning, but maybe this thing will work out. And Christian looks happy there again. It hasn't been. Way to work through it. Please subscribe to my YouTube page, Max Bredos. We'll keep it coming. Some big stuff coming on the horizon. I know I say that all the time, but I really mean it. Tune in, and we'll see you next time.